Hi guys, today we will also be working on starting our digital portfolios. A digital portfolio is a place where we will be collecting projects that we've done throughout the year to share with your family at the end of the year. We're going to be using Google Slides, and so today we're going to do some things with formatting and getting things set, finding pictures, putting them in, and getting them framed so that they look nice for your projects. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to open up Chrome. I'm going to go to my drive, and then from there I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to go down and click on slides, and that's going to launch a new presentation for me. If you haven't used slides before, it is a kind of like a deck of cards, and over here on the left side you'll see I'm just going to close the themes here because I'm just going to kind of start with a blank one here. You'll see cards kind of line up here down the side as we add slides to them. And then what happens is you can just sort of present and go through the different slides and click from one to another. So, the first slide is usually your title slide, and we're actually not going to be working on that right now. I'm going to show you how to get a picture in and such. So let's go ahead and just leave this slide, this opening slide, and let's add a new slide instead. So I'm going to go to slide, and I'm going to hit new slide. And now you can see here's our second slide that's kind of come up in the row. And you can always tell what slide you're working with because it's outlined in blue. So here's my second slide over here. This is where I work on formatting it. And this is just sort of lets you know sort of the order and how they all look all together. Okay, so I'm going to be doing, basically today we're going to be working on a slide for our digital portfolio around your rubric project. So with your digital portfolio, you'll always have some sort of title for the slide. You'll have some text, some sentences explaining what we did, what you learned from it, and so on and so forth. And you'll also have a picture. So that's what we're going to work on right now, is adding the picture, putting the picture in and getting it set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of this text box, and I can just click on it and delete it. And I'm going to click on this title as well and get rid of it just so I have a clean slate. Now you will be adding a title in, and like I said, some writing about it, but right now I just want to have a clear space that I can work. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture in. So if my rubric project is a project about, I don't know, a lot of people had dishes. So let's do maybe a dishes washing rubric project. Okay, I'm going to go over here, and you can see with my cursor all these buttons here are different things that you can do. We're going to click on this one that looks kind of like a photo of some mountains. It says image. You can click on it. We're going to search for a picture. And, here you could put in, if I wanted to click a picture that I'd already taken, I could put that in. Excuse me. If I had something in my drive, I could do that. I'm actually going to search for a picture. And I click search, and I'm going to type in washing dishes. And then I'm going to hit the little magnifying glass because it's going to search. Let's see what comes up. Okay. Kind of like this one here, you can scroll down and you'll see that there are more. There's this one here, that's kind of nice. This is nice, a lot of color. Ooh, I like this because there's that looks like a kid. Is that a kid? Can't quite tell. Let's look. Keep going. Ooh, washing dishes. Here we have some kids in their jammies washing dishes. That's even better. Okay, so when you find one that you like, you click select. Click on it and then click select. And you're going to see it's really, really big right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to size it. Now, I can stretch the picture and make it just wider, but then you notice that then everybody just got a little bit fatter and it doesn't look quite right because their body is no longer the same proportion as it was. To fix something, I'm going to hit Command Z to go back to where I was before. If you click, however, on a corner and you move in a diagonal way, that serves to either shrink the photo or enlarge the photo, but do it in a way so that everything is still balanced. So I'm going to click on this corner here and I'm going to hold it. And you can see I'm moving it up, moving it up, moving it up. And now the picture is much smaller, but it's also like the kids don't look out of proportion. Whereas if I had done something like this, done like this, then they suddenly get stretched. So it's still very much in proportion. I'm going to click on this corner. I'm just going to make it a little smaller, maybe something like that. Okay. Now I can click on it and I can certainly move it around to where I want it. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my photo here, and I'm going to have maybe my text over here explaining what the project was. Make it just a titch smaller. Okay, so you kind of get a sense, hey, that's looking pretty good. Now, one thing that you can do that will really make your work stand out and make it look much more professional is if you give it some sort of border. So right now this photo is just kind of floating here in the white, and it doesn't look nearly as well. It's nice, but watch the difference that is made if I frame it with sort of a little mat here. Kind of makes it stand out really nicely. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my shapes, and I'm going to I'm going to click on rectangle, and I'm going to make a rectangle that's just slightly bigger than the picture. So it's going to be, I don't know, that looks about right. Okay. And so now you're like, wait a minute, where did the picture go? What I did is I created a rectangle, but I lay it on top of the picture that was there. And so now the picture is still behind it. The problem is you just can't see it because the rectangle's on top. So I need to switch the order up. I need to put the colored rectangle behind instead. So I'm going to hit, this is kind of tricky. If with my left hand, I'm going to hit the control. I'm going to hold the control button at the same time I click, and you get this really cool menu here. And there are things you can do like rotate it or center the picture. What you want is order, because that tells you the order that things are in. I'm going to go order, and I'm going to send this square to the back. Now watch what happens. Suddenly it's on the back and my picture is in the front. Now doesn't that look nicely framed? I think though right now you can see that there's two things I'm going to change here. The square, first off, the mat is kind of a gray color. I'm going to look for maybe a color, what would look good here? Maybe sort of this yellowish here. You can play with some different things. So I'm here, my rectangle is filled right now with sort of this gray color here. I'm going to pick something. Let's just try a couple things. I might try this yellow, see if I can kind of pull that out a little bit. Maybe that. That kind of looks nice. I will say, though, I am not a fan of that black line. So I'm going to get rid of that black line. Let's see here. So if I click that, this is the line color here. Click. And instead of having a black line, I'm going to do transparent, which means clear, which is why you have this like little slash thing here. So let's do that. Okay, now look. Look at that. That looks really nice. Okay. Could experiment. Let's just experiment with some other ones. So that's kind of that yellowish. What about, we have some nice orange in the curtains there. Oh, and the orange of the carrots. That might be really kind of nice. Let's try something there. Maybe this one. Go down maybe one more. Oh, now look at that. Look at that. That looks good. Okay. Now, one thing I will say, when you're using color, the point of color is to highlight and draw your audience's attention to your work. It is not to blind them. It is not to make them want to put on their sunglasses. So putting something like, let's find something really obnoxious, like this orange here, I think it's going to be too much, right? You're just like, oh, sunglasses, please. That's just horrible. Okay, it hurts to look at it. So, when in doubt, go with something that's a little bit more subtle. Which one was the one we used before? Was it this one? That's still, yeah, that's better. It's better. I'm kind of thinking I might go a titchy bit lighter. Let's try that one. Yeah, that's looking good. All right. Now, I'm thinking at the same time, I'm going to work on the background here. I try to use the colors that are already in my photo so that it really, it's not introducing anything new that's competing. It just kind of blends together nicely. So let's just see what we have. Let's just look one more time. So I've got sort of this yellowish here, kind of the silver, maybe a gray might be nice. I don't know, let's just play around with a couple things. Here's a gray. Let's see what that looks like. You'll see that looks good. Kind of the orange then might be a little bright. I don't know. You'll have to mess around with it and see. Background. Let's try kind of that little army green. What would that be like? That's nice. Okay, see what you think. Anyway, my photo is all set. I can now add a text box how I want here. I'm going to say my rubric project. I'm going to just mess around with formatting here. I'm going to center it. I'm going to make it a little larger. Well, let's do this first. Maybe 24. Make it bold so it really stands out. And let's pick a better font, something that's going to get a little bit more attention. I'm looking for one that I like. Oh, how about Impact? That's kind of nice. Let's make it a little bigger still. Underlined. There you go. It needs to be bigger still. There. You're set and ready to go. I'm going to add another text box here, and this can be where you start writing about what it was that we did. The difference between a text box and an image box, so this is where you insert a photo. This is where if you want to write something. So it's in this space that I would write a little bit about my project. I'm not going to do that now, but I think you guys are set to at least go ahead and get started. If you want directions on this bit too, you can check lab lessons and the directions will be there. All right, once you're set, let's go ahead and name this. Name this is Gall's Digital Portfolio 2016, 2017. And now it is set. Another important thing to do is going to be to share it with me. So I'm going to ask that you hit the share button. And you're going to want to share it with me. Find me. If you just start typing in SG for S. Sarah Gall, it'll probably pop up. Now this is really important. Go down here to this box here where it says notify people. Please unclick this, because what this means is it sends whoever it is that you're sharing it with an email. And then it's saying, oh, you just have this project shared with you. I have 32 of you. If you are all sending me emails saying that I can get your digital portfolio, my whole inbox gets like swamped with mail and it's not pretty. I know that you've shared it with me, or I'll just check on my own and I'll be able to find it. So just unclick this, add my name here, and go ahead and hit OK. Yes, you want to skip sending me an invitation. You hit OK, it's saving, and you're set. And there, folks, is the beginning of your rubric project. Have a nice afternoon.